another edition of Sit Down at Uptown, man. Sit Down Uptown, we chop it up with our comedians who come rock the house here at Uptown Comedy Corner. I'm your host, Angelo Sykes, the owner of Uptown Comedy Corner. And tonight, man, we got a special guest, special privilege, man, the honor. One of the legends in this comedy game, one of the legends in the TV game. I mean, this man is just overall legend. Mr. Christhomas is in the building. What's up, brother?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Angelo. Hey, brother, it's great to be here, man. Since the day that I walked in here yesterday, I knew this place had a great vibe. And it's great. It's great to meet you and knowing that the tradition of the Uptown Comedy Corner is still alive.
How about that?
Yes, it is.
Well,
it's been over
you,
30-some years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. True story. So, Chris, great to have you here, though, brother.
Great to be here.
Yeah, man. So, you know, we ran into each other several times since our initial conversation.
Out in California.
Right.
And that right there was a surprise because I was just talking to you, and I know I told you I was coming out there. And, I was going out there, and now all of a sudden you show up, and we on the same radio show. Earthquakes, Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Quake's house, man. That was a real cool experience, too.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I had a lot of fun. I was the lone non-comedian on the show, so I just, you know, and Quake said, hey, man, be funny.
That's right. He said it's funny. We ain't here to hear the sad part of your life.
Right.
We want to laugh, even at the dead.
That's right. That's right. So, Chris, I always like to start my conversations taking a trip backwards, man. I always like to take a trip back, man, so we can get to know a little bit more about you, man. But I want to go way back.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go way back, Chris. Let's go back
in my mother's womb.
Okay, yeah. Shortly after that.
Okay.
Tell me about your childhood. Tell me, man, where you originally from, and what was childhood like for you?
Well, I'm one of four. I have a twin sister.
Okay.
That's she's around about 5'2", and I'm 6'3".
Really?
I got a brother, God bless his soul, and an older sister. And I lived in my father was a chemist and a biologist. He taught in high school.
Okay.
Before he was got a job with the NIH with Dr. Fauci.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
It was. I mean, my father, he was paranoid to have such a good job during them times. He always thought that everybody wanted his job.
Okay.
And that's how we used to stay outside. He used to say, why do you stay outside all night? I said, Dad, somebody was fucking with your car. And I was out there watching to see what they was doing. He said, too. 4 o'clock in the morning? I said, yeah, that's how long they was.
That's how long they were out there watching it? Did he ever buy that story?
He used to tell until my aunt got real with him, and she said, my father was Benny. He said, Benny, ain't nobody want nothing in that car. They might put something in it.
So you originally from D.C.?
I was born in Greensboro. But I was raised in Maryland.
Okay.
When I was not even in, elementary school.
Okay.
I went to kindergarten in Winston-Salem. And then we moved to Maryland.
Okay.
Lennon Baltimore, Tacoma Park.
Okay.
Bowie.
Okay.
And that's where we reside now.
Gotcha. So your elementary, middle school days, you were where?
Maryland.
In Maryland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ocean City. I lived down
Ocean City.
Yeah, I lived down in a place called Cambridge, Maryland.
Okay.
And then we moved to Baltimore. Then we moved to D.C.
What kind of student were you?
Average. But the one thing, I was on the morning announcements.
Really?
Through elementary, middle school, and high school.
Is that right? How'd that come about?
I would do impressions and...
Even at a young age?
At a young age. I was doing like all the cartoons like Yogi Bear, Snagglepuss, Donald Duck. The one used to go, Heavens to Murgatroyd. What are we trying to do even? I used to do all the cartoons, and then I started doing Wolfman Jack.
Oh, wow.
And that was it.
Really?
All right, it's old Wolfman Jack tonight here in the Midnight Special.
So you were doing that in school? I bet that was kind of entertaining for the kids, I'm sure.
Yeah, I had a wild imagination. I actually, when I was in elementary school, I jumped off a house, thought I could fly. I used to watch the old Superman. And believe me, if the kids are watching TV and doing what they see in their imagination, I did it.
Really?
I jumped off a house. I planned it all.
Planned it.
I said, I'm going to show these kids on this school bus I can fly. So the bus pulled in front of my house. That's what it did every day.
Right.
I ran off the bus, ran upstairs, came through the window, had a towel on.
Not a towel.
I had a towel on, and they was looking at me, the kids at the bus, and they was pointing up. I said, oh, this is some real shit. This is like Superman. I was saying, they saying, look. But I'm reading their mouth. They was like, that ML is crazy. And I jumped off the house. Believe me, I was airborne.
You were airborne.
Around about 1 second. And then I went down, broke my arm.
Wow.
So through the years, every year after that, I would break something.
Is that right? Became a routine, huh?
I tried to be the $6 million man. broke my knee.
Wow.
And that was from running fast.
Yeah. So were you considered a class clown in school?
I was, and I felt offended.
Did you?
When they gave me that honor in senior high school,
You were offended?
I was offended. I was like, class clown? Oh, hell no.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I actually said.
Really?
I said, hell no. Class clown? What kind of achievement is that?
Yeah.
Why not valedictorian?
Oh, yeah.
You know, most likely to succeed.
Okay.
But it paid off because in high school, they used to pay me to do assemblies.
Oh, really?
I used to make around about $500 per assembly.
Is that right?
Yes, I did.
Performing?
Performing.
Really?
I would do nothing but all impressions. And my biggest act was the $6 Million Man.
Is that right?
I used to make myself move real slow, and I would go. And I would go. Play like I could see. Then I would have some aluminum foil, and I would play like I was bending it. And I would throw it. I won Star Search for doing that.
Is that right?
I got a perfect score doing the $6 Million Man on Star Search with Eggman Man.
With Ed McMahon.
I remember Eggman Man said, Chris, that's very, very rare in the comedians category.
Yeah.
A perfect score.
Wow. That's cool. So when you were in school, did you do any acting, plays, or that kind of stuff? Or what kind of participation did you do in school?
I was in a play called Christopher Columbus, and I wrote a song. I was like, Christopher Columbus sailing across the sea. He's going to see if the world is round so he can tell me. People would not listen, so he's going to see if the world is really round like he said it would be.
Wow.
I kind of used the same jingle that Popeye.
Yeah.
Popeye the Sailor Man. So that was my same little rhythm.
Wow. That's cool.
Mm.
So you just added that to the play? Or, I mean...
It was in the play.
It was in the play?
It was in the play.
What was the play about? It was about Christopher Columbus in general?
Columbus, yeah, in elementary school.
Okay.
Then later on, I went to Howard. When I was in junior high school, they asked me to come over to the Children's Theater at Howard University. Mm. And they made me part of the drama department. They were called the Howard Players. And this is back then when Donald Byrd and the Blackbirds.
Yeah.
Walking in rhythm, moving in sound. So I used to be part, and then I went to Howard for a while when I was in junior high school and senior high school.
Well, that's cool.
I used to do coffee houses and stuff like that.
That's cool.
So, and then I didn't have to pay.
Yeah, how about that?
And didn't have to pay. Then I went to Strayer College. I went to a business college, and then I went to a community college.
Okay. Cool.
Didn't get no degree in none of them.
None of them? But you went to all of them.
I went to all of them. I can put that on my record. An achiever.
An achiever?
Yeah, because when I was in school, I had a lisp. You know, Eddie Murphy had a lisp too, because he couldn't pronounce words. So they put me in that special ed group. Took me years to talk myself out of that.
Really?
It was like, I was like, no, I can't. I don't belong here. So finally, I was able to speak, and I said, I don't belong in this damn class.
Wow.
So one day they told me to come back and talk to the kids with special needs. And I went on stage and I said, y'all know why I'm not in this class no more. And one dude stood up and said, I know. You were an overachiever.
Okay.
So I'm an overachiever, all right.
So when did this comedy bug kind of ignite in you?
Well, it's kind of been there the whole time.
Okay.
You know,
I see.
I had a knack for making people laugh. Now, we all comedians. You're a comedian, I'm a comedian, your camera crew, a comedian, your engineer is a comedian. But to take it to another level, meaning to explaining yourself and making people laugh without hurting anyone's feeling.
Okay.
That's the real art of comedy.
Art of it, yeah.
To make somebody laugh at themselves. It's like going to a funeral and you know the person you went to the funeral, you know his ass was bad.
Right.
He done killed 5 people. But now they want you to say something good about him. So I went to a funeral one time. They was like, Chris, can you say something? I said, well, he liked ice cream and chocolate chip cookies.
That's funny.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know what the industry says that everyone can say what they are, but you're not a doctor unless you've done what a doctor does. You're not a football player a pro football player unless you can do what a pro football player does.
Right.
As a comedian, it's on you as an artist. It's not what you see somebody else do and they're going to replicate it on stage.
Right.
And you look at people, somehow help them. You can't help a person be a comedian. This is the one time you can stand up for your own.
Gotcha.
By yourself and become a female or a man and say that you accomplished something through your brain and your intellect and your intelligence and your humorous bug.
Right.
Instead of just trying to say I'm something just because it's easy to say.
Gotcha. That's good.
You know.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. So you've done impressions and all that as a child. So when did you actually start going to the stages for comedy?
When I was in senior high school, I remember when I came out, they asked me to perform at the U.S. Black Teenage Pageant. And the drummer that day, this featured performer was Max Roach, the drummer.
Okay.
He was a legendary, just like Buddy Rich. He was, and after that, I had a friend named Peter Dean who went to Strayer College. He was the newspaper editor. And he said, man, you got a lot of talent. He said, I'm going to take you around to some places. So he started taking me around to promoters, clubs. Back then, we didn't have that many comedy clubs like the Uptown. That's why it's very important that this place stays open forever. Even if it moves, you're going right into another building.
Right.
Because then I would have to go to nightclubs and ask when they would collect the glasses off the table, could I crack jokes?
Right.
That was my time to shine. And it worked out well until later on in life, I was able to become a partner in a comedy club. So I don't know if I dream or sleep comedy, because I don't.
Okay.
I just have a knack for to observing something and making something humorous out of it.
Gotcha. So do you remember your first time actually on a comedy stage?
We had one in D.C. called Garvin's.
Okay.
And then I remember I went to Dangerfield with Rodney Dangerfield. And I went on stage. They had an impressionist on stage before me. Now, this guy didn't only do impressions of John Denver and Neil Sedaka and all that. He played the guitar. So I told my manager, I said, I'm not going to shine. I'm not going to shine tonight. He said, why? Because impressions are the element of surprise. And this guy right here is rocking. So I went on anyway, and I remember Rodney Dangerfield walked over to me. He said, hey, kid, you're pretty good, you know. Why don't you come back next week? He won't be here. And then after that, I started doing the Harlem circuit.
Okay.
In Atlantic City, they had a place called Harlem Nights. And I started doing breakfast shows I did a breakfast show with Jerry Butler.
Really?
At 7 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And it was so amazing because I seen a pimp come in there with his lady.
Really?
And they sat down at the table. He had a cold Cadillac outside, sunroof top. She got up, went outside, took a crowbar and bust all of his windows out.
Are you serious?
And I said, I have to see if this man knows his woman.
Wow.
She came back and sat back down, and he went out after the show, and he was going off, and she was right behind him, holding his arm.
Playing the role.
And she looked at him and said, who did this to you, baby? And it was her. The devil was right with him.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So how did that night go as far as you in the comedy on that stage go?
Oh, it was good because I was young and they was giving me an opportunity.
Okay.
I was young and I did a lot of impressions. I was doing like the John Wayne, but I would put them in different situations. I would do John Wayne having sex. Well, bitch, you better bend that stuff over. I want some posse. I used to do Pauline from Bewitched. Don't worry about it. I don't want none. Richard Pryor, come on, bitch. We gonna fuck all motherfucking night long. But my biggest thing was Howard Cosell.
Really?
And Ali.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Howard Cosell today in the remarkable sense of what professional boxing. Mohammed Cosell, I whipped all of them. I whipped Joe Frazier, Cannon Arthur. But as Ali got older, I met him, and he started slowing down. And I was talking, man, everybody was saying, I told the sucker.
So I gotta ask, you've been doing these impressions since you were a kid, so it just literally was just natural.
It was natural.
Just natural.
You ever heard of God-given talent?
Yeah, that was it, huh? That's awesome.
You think by you owning this club and the tradition of the legacy that it has,
yeah,
you was made. Now, I understand with comedy, folks, COVID changed a lot of things. I don't know if it put motherfuckers to sleep or help them wake up.
Yeah.
It helped me wake up.
Okay.
Because we seeing people die over a simple pneumonia. People who thought they was tough.
Right.
So it really had a chance where you can really meditate and look at your life because you couldn't go nowhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they felt that if they couldn't go out and do things, that messed up their life.
Sure.
And they came out never wanting to go through that again. So I was still laughing. I wasn't doing any shows, but I had a friend that had a house on the water up in Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay.
And this black dude, this is where the slaves used to be at.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they built the houses, and they told all the black folks they shouldn't sell the houses, but they did. but he kept his, and he's got a dock. He's got a dock probably from here to your front door, and then it goes out to the water. So I went out there almost every day, and that kind of got me through COVID.
Wow.
We was having a ball.
Yeah.
His name is Ron.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been to over those docks. I went to the Kunta Kinte
statue.
Memorial.
They try to tear that down a couple of times.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yep. The history over there is just phenomenal.
You know what racism is really?
Yeah.
Jealousy.
100%. I agree 100%.
It's envy and jealousy because you can't hate the person that you don't know. If you hate someone, then you can't love God.
Right.
And you can't ask for help without speaking either.
Yeah.
You know, but I believe in psychologically a lot of people is messed up here, or they don't take the time to think.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
They don't analyze their life. They do it.
Sure.
And then they think about it later.
Yeah, I agree. So, Chris, you've had, tremendous success. Like right now, you were in town for the BET Awards, and they did the BET documentary. And I appreciate the invitation to that.
Yes,
that was a great event, man.
I'm telling you something, man. Once I told you, a friend always a friend.
Yeah.
Only thing that break us up is death.
Yeah, about that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I believe that we are true to who we are. And when we pray, we should ask for forgiveness of everyone.
How about that?
And I'm glad that you came.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember I kept telling you about LeBron James's mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know you wanted to see it for yourself. I know you wanted to see it. I know you wanted to see if LeBron James' mother and the uncle really, and they was there, right?
They were there.
They
were there. Yeah, I got the picture to prove it.
That's exactly. I want you to.
Absolutely.
You know, that's another story within itself.
Yeah.
On how I got hooked up with Uncle James, who basically was his playing partner. Because LeBron didn't have no siblings.
Right.
So Uncle James is not too far off, maybe 10 years older than he is. But they were, that was his playing partner. And you can see that he's a quiet dude, too.
Yeah.
But he raps, and I guess LeBron's at his uncle at his age doesn't see any really, but he's talented.
Okay.
It's like, I don't want my uncle to go out, but he got skills.
Yeah.
And Fly Cry does too. So Gloria always comes to support them.
And that was cool.
And I always support them. We went to the Rock the Bell radio show with Roxanne Shante, and they asked me would I come. They have so much respect for me because of Rap City and as a person.
Sure.
I'm sure it's not all Rap City.
Right. That hurt, but it sure is more than that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, they always say, man, when a man tells you he loves you, you don't hear that from men.
Right.
Unless they mean it.
That's right.
They either gonna say you all right.
We good. That's a true story.
So when I say deeply, as I say tonight on stage, if I say I love Jesus, I love everyone.
Yeah.
Because we are as he is.
That's right. No, that was a cool event. Like I said, we got to
and it was good,
meet Miss
wasn't it?
Gloria James, and then Uncle, and they were cool. It was good people to talk to.
That's exactly right.
That was a real cool experience.
And took the pictures. I mean, and the documentary was interesting.
The documentary, that's what I want to get to. The documentary was really, really good. So let's discuss a little bit about how Rap City for you came about. The opportunity to be on.
A lot of people probably know this who was going to the concerts. I was the first comedic host of the Run DMC tour.
Which is a big deal.
Tougher Than Leather. I know they did Raising Hell, but I don't know. I think they may have used DJs back then. So the Tougher Than Leather tour I hosted. The MC Hammer tour I hosted. The Heavy D tour I hosted. The Public Enemy tour I hosted. All the hitters.
Right.
LL Cool J I hosted it. The Beastie Boys
Wow.
I hosted it. So for all the years, I was the host.
Yeah.
My job was to keep the attention of the young people at places that held 30,000 people. That was my job.
Yeah.
And so after that, BT started, and they had a game show called Tell Me Something Good. Now, my manager had to beg me to do that. I was like, a game show? Come on, man. I'm a comedian. Ain't no damn game. So he asked me to do the game show, and I started getting all the fan mail. After that, Bob Johnson, he used to hang out with Bob Johnson, Butch Lewis, and Eddie Levert.
Wow.
They were three the hard way.
Wow.
So they wanted to do a comedy special before Comic View, and they had Robin Harris host it. It was me, Robin Harris, Ronaldo Ray, Louis Digg, and Myra J. And that was a strong show, and I know how Robin Harris brought me on. He was like, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring a young man. He was in a video with Public Enemy called Don't Believe the Hype, the epitome. In fact, the last time I saw him, he got a standing ovation. Of course, there was no chairs in the place.
Robin Harris.
Robin Harris. So I've seen a lot of them come and go.
Yeah, 100%.
I was with him probably 2 weeks before he passed away.
Wow.
Then I did some shows with Barry White. I was with him like maybe 3 weeks before he passed away. Rick James, 2 weeks. Miles Davis. So I was hosting a lot of those shows.
Wow.
And a lot of people asking, well, you know, with the fame and money and stuff, I never really asked for a lot of money. I know back in them days I was getting 10,000 maybe, but then one day some of my fellow brothers who were young promoters and making 20 and back then in the 80s, you know, you was making 20. But I started trying to help these young cats, and it made my value go down because they would run out and tell, like I'm telling a cousin, okay, I'm gonna help you out. Just give me $3 grand. And they go tell somebody else, and then I know my agent, Norby Waters, called and said, look, man, what the fuck are you doing? I said, man, I'm just trying to help my people. He said, well, you're helping them, but you're hurting yourself. I said, well, sometimes it doesn't matter how much I make because I just have to do more shows. But I'm working.
Yeah.
You know, some of those guys, they might make a $50,000, but they may not work in a month.
Right.
I'm still working,
Right.
so I sometimes can surpass $50,000 just doing a couple more days.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
And anyway, you're gonna get old anyway. So every day that you look in the mirror, you done got a day older,
Right.
second older, minute older. So I like working because the day that I can't, it's over anyway.
It's over anyway. So the experience though for Rap City, I mean, because like you just said, you just named off some of the greatest entertainers of all time. You know, and you're hosting these shows. I mean, so
I was with Bo Diddley.
Wow.
I'm gonna show you the pictures. Bo Diddley.
Wow. I mean, this is why I opened the show by saying this is a legend. You know what I mean? I mean, you just can't just put these things to the side. This is a really big deal. I mean, you were around again among some of the greatest entertainers of all time.
And I'm not slumped over.
And you know,
everybody expecting me to come in and go, where's my chair?
Yeah, you still, and you're on the move.
I'm on the move.
You're on the move.
I'm like
McFadden
and Whitehead.
Yeah.
Ain't no stopping us now.
Ain't no stopping us now.
I think that would have been that's a great song for one of the presidential candidates. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move.
Yeah, I don't know about these candidates though. They're not.
I know. Maybe I'll give it to Donald Trump.
Oh Lord.
It fits him.
Yeah, as if he needs more. So, your experience though on Rap City, I mean, do you think it kind of changed the game in terms of how the comedians were represented, the opportunities?
No, well, it didn't really help comedians, but it definitely helped that rap show.
Okay.
Because it was just like the music video jukebox. It faded away. People were paying $1 to see their videos, but Rapcity, they was going to see those videos every day until the show went off the air. So by me adding those skits and comedy, it gave it life again.
Okay.
People had a reason to run home.
Okay.
Because they still have music video jukebox on.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking all the credit, because after me, those hosts that came on, they added a little flavor. Mm-hmm. And people may have been just stuck on what Rapcity was, because there was Video Soul and there was Rapcity. Then they started with the Video LP, the Caribbean. But Rapcity, I don't know, it reigned supreme.
It did. I mean, I remember as a kid, I watched Rapcity. We couldn't wait to see the videos, and that's, so it's an honor for me. I mean, I watched you,
Yeah, we brothers. We brothers now, Angelo.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. I don't think you've never changed since I met you, and I ain't never gonna change.
That's what's up. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not never gonna change. Because
absolutely.
Life is short. You may think it's long, but those short. People who get older, sometimes they can't do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it's short.
Yeah.
They just still ticking.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to express the love for my fellow mankind.
That's beautiful.
Now.
Yeah.
And not when something goes wrong. I'm going to express love now while I can, so people know that if no one has ever said that they care, I do.
That's what's up.
And that's one thing that we don't do in the world. We don't teach people to say hello. Only ask for something. You don't even have to ask to have sex with a girl.
Yeah.
She's going to give it to you anyway if she like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how about that? So, with all the many tours you've been on, shows you've been on, do you have a favorite? Like what, a moment that was like, man, this is the greatest moment?
I don't know. When me and Bernie Mac used to tour, see, I'm up in the air. Me, Bernie Mac used to tour. Me and Jamie Foxx used to tour on tour. It's just hard to say. Cause we saw, see, Bernie, he was dedicated to his wife. So I didn't really get to go and hang out.
Okay.
At night, cause Bernie, Chris, I'm going to fuck home. You hear me? I'm going to motherfucker home. I not staying out in motherfucker not. But Jamie would.
Right.
But I think maybe the group, the tour with Guy. I mean, we was on tour with Guy and Aaron Hall. Boy, they would get 5 rooms a night, 5 hotel rooms. And they would mess with all these ladies. And I remember one time, the doctor came on our bus and said, "Who's been around Aaron Hall?" Well, if you have, I got to give you a shot in your neck.
Wow.
I said, what kind of crap did Aaron?
What was he doing?
He must have been eating, he must have started eating the cat litter.
We talked about how you feel about that on Earthquake Show.
Right. Oh, yeah, the finger.
The finger.
Hey, man. The reason why I tell the people, I got this joke about it. You ever went down a girl's face and that vagina juice got acid in it? It start making your mouth itch. And she be like, "What you thinking about?" I'm thinking about getting some hot water and some soap. And a little bit of Atlanticade.
And Atlanticade.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously the finger, if you know what, everybody done, you can do just about as much with this finger than you can do with your tongue and get the same effects. And after that, you can let her smell it. And she'll tell you, "I've been sitting down all day."
That's funny.
Say, well, you need to stand up and stay up.
Oh, man.
I kid women because they can take criticism.
Yeah.
Because they know somebody going to want them tomorrow.
Period.
Yep. Man, nobody don't want you.
Right.
And tomorrow, she'll be like, told you.
With no problem, right?
I don't see you with nobody, though.
True story. True story. So the guy tour was a big one.
Oh, it was
for you.
awesome. And
Yeah.
MC Hammer, that was...
There had to be an experience there.
Yeah, because he had them disciplined. And I remember the group 357.
Sure.
Boy, they had some young ladies, and they was fine.
Yes, they were.
And the group I was riding on the tour bus with today.
Oh, wow.
With Big Bub.
Yeah.
And Big Bub and her from 357 snuck off. And all the time I see Big Bub, that's all we're talking about, 357. Because Hammer had them going to the room right after the show. They had to go, and they couldn't hang out.
Really?
It's like, you're going to be with me. You're going to go after the show. You're going to go to your room, and you're going to chill.
Wow. Hey, I heard he was a very disciplined person, but you know.
He was, and he gave money away, but he definitely gave it because he wanted to help people. Maybe he didn't have a good accountant that says, "Hey, Hammer, slow down.
Slow down. Don't touch this."
Right. You were exactly right.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. So, Chris, with all your many successes over the years, is there anything that you still are shooting for that you want to get accomplished?
I don't know what I'm really shooting for.
Okay.
Because I'm doing it. I like for people to know a little bit more about spirituality.
Okay.
And I like to try to help them, especially in our community. We're always the ones saying we, but we're doing it to us. And I wish I could understand that better because my mom is 89 years old, and they never talk about racism. They said, we didn't go through it. And they lived in the South.
Right.
They lived outside of Charlotte in a place called Mount Gilead, Albemarle, North Carolina. But they never talked about racism. And when I see all the things, you can be proud of yourself, Angelo, because there's nothing wrong with having the American dream and owning stuff and doing things that you want to do. But you can't complain to another race and still need them for something to eat and to go to their grocery stores. You're supposed to balance it off,
right? So
they can come, all races, Latino, Chinese, and come to the Uptown and get the Uptown Comedy Corner experience.
Yeah.
I know you didn't intend it just for black folks.
No, absolutely not.
So that's the way that I believe because of the white friends that I have. We don't talk about color. Color is the only way it's identification.
Right.
When you say flower, you say it was a rose or it was a tulip. What color is a rose and what color is a tulip? So that's the only way. The day I see somebody that have green blood, now we different.
That's a great analogy.
Now that's we different.
Yeah.
Right now the heart is in the same place, and we have to understand we are the most unique people. We can do anything with our hair. We come in so many different colors. Black folks can look white,
right,
and be black,
right.
So we have to. I hope people just open their eyes and realize before it's too late, because I believe that we are the ones that really make Jesus come.
Good stuff.
They say he comes as a thief in the night, so. Yeah. That's what he said.
That's what he says. How about that? How about that? So let me ask you a question. You just said something, maybe just think about something, and then the fact you said you're part of a comedy club yourself.
Yeah, I used to.
Right.
And they help 450 people.
Yeah.
I used to do all the defcomedyjam auditions, all the P. Diddy Bad Boys, all the Comedy View auditions. And if there's, how many people in Atlanta? Population. Give me a roughly number.
3 million. Was it 3 million or something like that? It's in
3, 4. Well, how many people have been to your club? How many? Have you had 1 million come to your club?
Over the 18 years, I'm sure.
Over 18 years.
Yeah.
So you have to, some of the same people, right?
Sure.
So what you have to calculate is you have to introduce people to certain things. Some people are homebodies. Some people have never been to a comedy club.
Sure.
Some people are just frightened to come out.
Right.
Some people don't have a date. So what we had strategies in order to get people out. Nothing wrong with giving it away sometimes. People kind of pay for what they want to pay for.
Sure.
And then some things, and it's amazing how a place can be 3 million and all you asking for is 1,000.
Right.
But then that 1,000 will come out because you'll go over here to Mercedes-Benz Stadium and Beyonce will come out there and they'll pack it out.
100%.
I was with the Kings of Comedy and we did 4 shows at the MCI Center back then, which is Capital One Arena. 4 shows. So those people are there.
Yeah.
You just got to go get them.
Yeah. 100%.
You have sometime. I used to go out myself, and I would put an HBO laminate pad so people could see that HBO comedy, and I would have tickets, and I would go talk to people, and most of them never been to a comedy club.
Yeah.
But I would make them, at the first time, I would damn near not give it away for free. I would make them pay for the food or drink at the door.
Sure, 100%.
So I would put, or I would do how much the ticket would be at the door, and then I would have a little open buffet. And I would say all you can eat buffet, but I would have those easy bake oven plates.
Yeah.
So they might get like 2 little wings on there and a tablespoon. But guess what? That's all they would eat. They wouldn't
you
waste.
got to put on the ticket as long as it lasts, till supplies last. You got to let them know.
Well, I would say all you can eat because they will only go one time.
Yeah.
They standing in line.
Mm-hmm.
And once they sit down, boom, the show is on.
Right.
Now they think that if the show start, they're gonna talk about them, so they don't get up. So now you done spent $1.50 and you done made.
Right.
I mean, obviously they can have as much as they want.
Sure. But
they came there to eat something and drink.
Sure. What I was gonna ask you was the fact of, I don't know if you are aware, but over the course of time, there's only 5 Black-owned and operated comedy clubs left in the entire United States. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of it.
Yeah.
Really?
Only 5 left.
They got one down called Crowns of Kings. It's right down the street in Birmingham. No, in Auburn. Have you seen that one before?
I haven't seen that one.
It's called Crowns of Kings.
Okay.
And it's like an old grocery store they turned into a comedy club.
Yeah.
And they need help because that's a football town, college town.
Definitely a college town.
And I done been out there several times, but.
Now I was curious if you knew that and what your thoughts were on that scenario.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. That black folk, we need to get it together. It's patience. You got to wake up and open up when you say you're going to open up. It's not on your time. And sometimes you want to always hire your people, but your people have to understand that you got to pay bills.
Right.
I have a buddy who just opened up a chain of restaurants called, of all things, Brother Man Tacos. And he's making a killing.
Really?
He's making a killing. He was making, and it's only hold like around about 100 people. He's making $150,000 a month.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, they start stealing.
Mm.
He had the meanest crab cake with shrimp tacos.
Mm.
And all of a sudden, he would leave, and he was like, man, ain't no reason why all that crab meat is gone and shrimp.
Terrible.
So you got to have somebody or put somebody in charge where they got to understand they want that paycheck.
How about that?
But that's 5%. That's exactly how are you helping society.
Right.
Your vote. But then the politicians not doing that much that they should either.
Yeah. You have a whole nother show on that.
Yeah.
So, Chris, I'm going to get you out of here on this one. I do a top 5 of my Classic Conversations podcast, right?
Right.
So I would like to end this show in the same way. So, being a video veteran as you are, give me your top 5 videos of all time. Not necessarily rap, whatever. Top 5 videos of all time.
Oh, man. How you going there? I don't even watch videos. Probably the Michael Jackson Thriller.
Okay.
I like the Public Enemy video.
So
What's the
many.
one? 1999.
Take
the
the Nation of
number.
Millions.
Yeah.
Take the Nation of
The
Millions. Hold us
one
back.
where, motherfuck him and John
Yeah.
Wayne. I like that one.
Okay.
I kind of like, I like the Algero Morning. That was cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with one of the videos that I did that was the first long-length rap video of all time.
Okay.
Night of the Living Bassheads with Public Enemy.
Wow.
And I like that video.
You all in that video, too.
Yeah. It was the first long-lived video ever
Yeah.
after Michael Jackson did Thriller.
Oh, that's cute. That's cool.
And
One more.
I'm trying to picture it in my head. I'll just go with Run DMC, Walk This Way.
Okay. Can't go wrong with Run DMC.
Right.
Well, good deal. Well, Chris Thomas, man, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you at the Sit Down at Uptown.
Thank you.
And to have you at Uptown Comedy Corner in Journal, man.
Well, can I say this?
Absolutely.
If Barack Obama was here, what would you say to him?
What would I say to him?
Yeah, if he was.
I'm probably too stunned to say anything, but just hello, sir.
I'm going to do my Barack and you go with the interview.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here, Angelo.
It's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Well, thank you. It's not like every day I get to speak to you.
It's my absolute pleasure, Mr. President.
Well, it's mine. And keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, sir.
This is the Sit Down at Uptown. And this is the way it's supposed to be. I gotta go, everybody.
Can't get a better plug than the 44th President of the United States, Mr. Barack Obama.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir, man. It's a Sit Down at Uptown. We out. Can't get a better plug than that.